mai ngā iwi, tātou tātou e. Tūtira mai ngā iwi, tātou tātou e. Pai a te maramatanga, me te aroa e ngā iwi, kia potapotaki, kia potapira, tātou tātou e. Tūtira mai ngā iwi, tātou tātou e. Tūtira mai ngā iwi, tātou tātou e. Pai a te maramatanga, me te aroa e ngā iwi, kia potapotaki, kia potapira, tātou tātou e. Tātou tātou e. Kia kia mau, kia wehi.
So we just want to make sure that we're honoring the words of the song. It's taken a community of people to stand together, to bring together the scholarship. And I'm using the word scholarship on purpose because I'm not going to deny the intellectual property of these people's stories and the mana that they hold. I'm a fan of literature, I'm a fan of Pacific stories, I'm a fan of Māori stories, I'm also a fan of just human stories. And that's something that's important to me because it just timestamps where we're at, where our humanity's at, where our thinking's at. And that's something that I'm super proud of as a Pacific native, but also as my favorite. I'm always going like this, and I'm just bear with me. I'm literally going to just go here with you. I'm just so proud to be my the favorite grandson, you know. And I know that all of my cousins and all my siblings are jealous, and I'm just like, you should be, because you don't look like this, okay? So humble. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic on. I'm a male, and I've just held it on for too long. But I'm going to introduce you to our next speaker. There's going to be many speakers today. So just please, anytime we're feeling a little bit heavy, we're just going to take some breath. Yeah? And I'll be the motivator. If I feel like you're already slouching or some yawning is going on, I'm jumping straight into breath work so that you can focus on the koha that's being offered. Yeah? So this next speaker is the first term, is in her first term, in their first term, Hamilton City Councillor, and holds the portfolio for uplifting the wellbeing of older people living in Hamilton. Prior to joining Hamilton City Council, they've worked in charities sector, led the mental health, disability, and older people's COVID-19 vaccine rollout, and is the first openly out queer person to be elected into Hamilton City Council. Come on. Please do a round of applause for Louise Hart.
What an act to follow. Kia ora koutou. No England, Ireland, Wales, me Aotearoa, o kutipuna, ko hapo ngaro he toku hapu, ko hodro tamaki makara toku hapu, he tangata tariti au. E tulu aki au ki whamata, ko kirikiriroa toku kainga and aine, ko Louise Hart toku ingoa. Thank you for having me today. Thank you for coming to Kirikiriroa and to Hamilton to host this. And I do want to acknowledge that Mayor Paula Southgate sends her apologies. Inside this beautiful, beautiful document, it describes the stories of Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders as a precious taonga, and I could not agree more. As a member of the Rainbow and disabled communities myself, I know how critical it is to exist within research and statistics frameworks. So our communities can be seen and heard, so policies, strategies and laws can be informed and funded, and so we can create a future without marginalisation, isolation or discrimination.
Oh, yeah.
For our Rainbow communities, history has not always been on our side. It's awfully hard to want to be counted, to be seen and heard, to feel safe, to participate in research if you can be thrown in prison for existing. Being invisible can be a protective measure, but it's also a weapon used against us. We can't push for better funding or support when we don't have the data to show the disparities and when our stories aren't told. As mentioned in the research, being ourselves is still treated as a crime in many places around the world, which much of which is a hangover from our colonial history. And I hope that research like this can serve as an example and can be of use to communities who are yet to be safe to participate in their own studies. I'm especially grateful for the elders and elder adjacent people who have led and participated in this work. I'm grateful to have people to look up to, people to see myself in, and to see what my future might look like. Takatāpui and Rainbow people have always existed, and true community exists across the spectrum of age, something emphasised in this scholarship. When speaking to young people about politics, I often encourage them to understand the whakapapa of the issues and causes that affect them. Learn about the lineage, learn about the people who came before you, who fought and campaigned and grieved and simply existed before many young people like myself even took our first breaths. I don't need to tell the Rainbow and Takatāpui community that having living elders is a talent in and of itself. And I cannot wait to share this document and podcasts and stories with many of the young people that I connect with. To the researchers themselves, writing about violence, discrimination, and trauma is not ever easy, but it is especially heavy when it is about your own community and when it can overlap with things you've experienced yourself. Thank you for doing this work. Reading through this research, the emphasis on intersectionality is critical to its success. Not just the intersection of older people who are also part of the Rainbow community, but also acknowledging how ethnicity and proximity to colonisation, class, disability, faith, and even how specific identities within the Rainbow umbrella, like bisexual, transgender, and intersex people have their own very specific experiences. The efforts within the methodology to ensure diversity of participants means this is a true reflection of our communities and not just the voices of those with the longest life expectancy. We all deserve to age with safety and dignity and as authentically ourselves. To do that, we need our communities, organisations and institutions to value and respect Rainbow and Takatāpui lives. We as City Council have a long way to go in terms of supporting and honouring both our elders and our Rainbow communities, and we cannot do that without the direction and guidance from that community. So thank you again for the gift of this research, and I know I will certainly work to ensure its inclusion in our strategies and plans.
Tēnā.
Kia ora koutou.
We've had some beautiful words that were shared there. One of the words that dropped for me, and I just really want to make sure that I'm honouring you for bringing this up. Turn to someone next to you and say, whakapapa. Yeah, someone completely new from the other side shouted at you. Kia ora. So to me, honouring the many journeys that got us here is definitely something that I value, something that I really appreciate. And also it keeps me humble because you already know I've got a big ego, so it's actually such a humility tool for me. But I also wanted to shout out the next speaker because this person is a beautiful leader, very humble, honest the whakapapa, but also honest the whakapapa of a lot of different experiences that also either adds to her basket of knowledge, but also adds to the
this project in collaboration with friends of Waikato. The focus of the Kahukura is the name. We're all about building peace inside Takatāpui and Rainbow communities, and we approach the building of that peace through our citizens' experience, talking about that, but also through centering respect and equity in our relationships inside our communities, where we are very different from one another a lot of the time, but also through our connections back to the other communities that we are part of. Because none of us ever is just one thing. In the building of peace and preventing violence, we centre the wrongs of colonisation here in Aotearoa, using facilities as our guide. So this means for us that we acknowledge that colonisation imposed Victorian traditions here in this land, ideas that sometimes embodies were normal, that sometimes even relationships were normal, and that sometimes as families were normal. Now those things aren't lost to us, in all kinds of ways. But for Takatāpui and Rainbow folks, they are the cultural scaffolding of violence towards us. Okay, so let's go back to the source road. English Laws Act 1858. For the first time in this country, men who love other men become criminals. The death penalty is imposed for men who love other men. So this is the starting point for all the laws that came after, restricting the rights of sex, sexuality, and gender diverse people here in Aotearoa, and leading to disconnection for us about our families, our whānau, our communities, our healthcare settings, our workplaces, our sports teams, and our culturally sacred spaces. Now, fortunately for us, this is not our finishing point. And for that, we largely have our elders to thank, actually, for their heroism, their resistance, their community building, and their bravery in fighting for the rights that we now have in Aotearoa. So those decolonising folks are not done, folks, for sure. We've still got more to do. But we are in a different place today because of the mahi of our elders. I stand here today on their shoulders. All of our ongoing battles for rights stand on their shoulders. So with that context in mind, I'm going to turn now to actually talk about our research. You'll be pleased to hear. And I want to talk about the village that has nurtured this into being, uplifting Takatāpui and Rainbow Elder voices. Te kua kia tū takatahi ngā whetū o te rangi. So first of all, we do what we should always do. We weekly experts, people lived experience. We approach Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders all around the country to enjoy our research theme. Wonderful Lexi Madison sitting right here. This represents a senior elder, just so everyone knows. And the wonderful Dr. Kahukura, who you can see on the screen here, and who sadly is not able to join us today due to health issues, but I believe it's watching online. Lexi, Dr. Who, and our other elder advisors, including Mary Jackson, who's so pictured here, trying to fight who cake. Price advice and how to focus this project and reach elders. So every single piece of that advice is pretty helpful, and our research theme village, and we are a village as you can see, is really hard to action at all. From our interviewer team to our focus group facilitators to our social worker, our academic advisor, and our community advisors. But that village, for uplifting Takatāpui and Rainbow Elder voices, did not stop with the research team or even the village of volunteers and folks involved with Hohou, Kahukura, and Waikato. Firstly, we've been funded by the seniors, and I want to give a shout out to them because they have been no ordinary funders. There are funders and there are funders, right? The Office of Seniors have been champions for this work for us, and we are very blessed today to have Diane coming to speak to that later. And we could not, we literally could have done this work without them. We've also had super allies. Just take a moment to look at the first on the screen there. Many of you know her, the fabulous elder abuse professional educator Honey Knowles from Agency New Zealand. So Honey, I think, was individually responsible for more elder abuse posts going out than any other single person in Aotearoa. From public libraries to community centres to health services to our trust here in the Waikato putting up posters at their kaumata Olympics. Our posters get travelled. I want to thank everyone who has shared this project and helped us reach people. Again, we couldn't have done it without you. So, we hear from, well, we gather information in 3 different ways. Via a confidential online survey, we have 424 elders, all over the age of 55, living all over the country in both urban and rural settings. We heard from all Pākehā, but 7% of our participants are Māori and 7 on Pasifika and another ethnicity. Our elders were mostly experienced gay, with about 1 in 5 identifying as bisexual or Takatāpui. More than 1 in 10 were trans and non-binary, just under half said they had some form of disability. The second way we get information through our focus groups was about attempting to reduce the risk of weight gain, this research, because we knew we were going to be more from older Pākehā, because our older populations are less ethnically diverse than Aotearoa as a whole. So we've got focus groups with Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders, people younger than us, and with social services practitioners to those communities. Across those 6 focus groups, we have 17 people about what they saw the needs of Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders being in their specific cultural context. And then last but not least, we also interviewed young people in in-person interviews. And I will be honest and say this, I'm aware that there are a number of people watching into the room that took part in that information gathering in one way, shape or form. And I just want to say, I'm so glad you're here. That is what accountability looks like as part of the concern. Okay, so our interviewers, it's quite hard to see how to say out here. But basically, every person we interview was offered their choice of interviewer. And we ended up interviewing a diverse bunch of people. We had more people putting their hands up to the interview than we could interview, which was a total blessing, to be honest. Half of our interviewees were Māori, 1 had Pacific belongings, 4 were trans and non-binary. We interviewed people with different ages, sexualities, living situations, and disabilities. We recorded every interview with consent, and our interviewers worked separately and together to identify the themes that came through. And these are those themes. So these are live on our website today. Each of them is between 5 and 15 minutes long. They all feature multiple voices. Our interviewees approved every snippet of their voice, and they also had the chance to listen and how their words work with others. You can listen to them today. We've set some listening stations up around the room, but please not to finish to it. But I want to play one now so you get a little sense of how beautiful they are. I do have a trigger warning for you. There's 0 problems with using the word.
Well, I've been really considerate beside me. But yeah, I think for me it's I'm right important, but I have other things I do to ensure that I don't right on the street. That would be cool. Everyone wants because of three different things. That's not it. Just like that will go up. Yeah, but just being nice to the rainbow people out there that want to live like I do, and they've got a connection. Some people, if it's the neighbour has got the same. Yeah, come out community. I'm trying to encourage more. Yeah, it's quite isolating in a whole different environment.
There's something about history animals, and it's about how we go where we are, where we come from. Also, about some of the radical activities and all that today. And it's, I think it's important about our business to really motivate the way. I actually looked at the documents program the other night, and it was one thing sort of celebrated all the grateful stuff that I was
We're communities and we're just thought together specifically. And so the type of group that part of the reason that it has where's planted fucking trees. When we do that, we're super important. But it's really not based on because that for me is an example of resilience and it gets support by planting the tree. Yes, it's not sexual under this game, but yes, it's good. But we form relationships and communities.
All recognize something how but then provide with how you empower and the voices as well. So yeah, it's a lot of cultures and as I'm getting older, I get suddenly I really reconnect with one that I really know a lot about. It's doing that.
Yeah, it's very true.
You don't have a lot together.
And start the group there before those few plus eggs and calories. And I was also one of the excuse to lead a group of the trained one. And that takes great learning.
I helped them train down the reserve, and I love being when I go out of my way to be polite and pleasant and joyful and everything. And yeah, it's lovely because, you know, you get into a relationship with people that you can't sit and hide yourself in a box and where you are. And all you accept, it's not your right to accept, yeah, I accept that.
For years, I was involved with Stella and very involved with New Zealand culture. So that gave me a true community because we had a fight and we shared and an understanding, and there was physical places that we meet, like New Zealand culture creative officers, to mention it again.
That was not a community, introduced us to community. But we did come to that mindset and wanted to be involved. Holding ours, we actually see so that I can focus more on being more available to the community. And also doing more spiritual things too. So I think being connected often has to come from awareness, what I think. I've been many years ago where I just wrapped myself up more and more about anything. And I always people reach out to me, but that's not how to do it. So it's more about reaching out to others and finding connections. And then it's finding things in common and contributing. And realised that was a possibility. It's just not and
Did you want me to bring up this before? No, I don't think so, because of the way that the people are today. Like, they don't get, you know, they're very vocal, they're more than able to stand up and fight. But you'll find that a lot of my generation, we so much to that, you know, but I think young people today are versed and suited in themselves. And I guess that they be treated like everybody else. So I don't worry about the future of our rainbow family because one, we've always been here and we've survived, and two, it's in our nature to you know, to fight and to look after each other, I think.
I think that if there was a group of, you know, lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, you know, I could, yeah, that I had, was able to attend. Yeah, I think I would feel that we were more part of the community that began.
In daily life, I didn't really put myself in the company. People in the room, but the person who cuts my hair, for instance, is gay. He cuts my hair in his garage because we had decent conversations without being in the cell.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. I climb with lead sports, he cuts my hair.
In conversation.
Yeah, yeah, it's lovely. There's a particular cafe I enjoy going to because there's a trans girl behind the counter. And again, we have a nice relationship. It sounds not a deep relationship. She's making me a cup of coffee. I'm drinking it. But there's something more than just getting a cup of coffee that's involved. So whenever I can find a spot, I've just been on holiday and come back, and there's a cafe on the way home that has a rainbow flag. So I stopped there. I don't know who the rainbow community members are behind the counter, but they have my goodwill.
Yeah.
So put the flag up.
So hopefully from that you get a bit of a sense of quite how special those podcasts are. I feel moved to just give that a bit of an acknowledgement, folks. Can we just... Beautiful, thank you. So as well as those podcasts, today we're launching fact sheet posters for different audiences. There's big versions of them up on the wall around the room, and there's also some at the desk there at the front. We really encourage you to take these away. That's what they're there for. Put them up in your spaces. Think about what they mean for your family, your whānau, your organisation. And if you're a funder, what you fund. These posters highlight the recommendations we're making based on all the voices that we've heard. Now, you will have heard me mention the whakatauki that Huhana and I chose for this report today a couple of times. Te kua kia tū takatahi na whitu o te rangi. That whakatauki has guided us to this launch. Let each star shine out clearly and be seen. So we have lots of stars in our communities. Malu, I'm sorry, you're not the only one.
It's not a competition.
And all of our stars deserve to shine in all their glory. Stars are never told that they shouldn't shine like that. Stars are never told that they're not proper stars. So we shouldn't be doing that to people either. Our report focuses on what elders said about social connection, discrimination, community groups and services for older people, families and whānau, safety and relationships, and hopes, plans and fears about ageing. Woven throughout is the specific generational context that our elders have lived through. So that rampant discrimination and exclusion, including the HIV and AIDS crisis of the 80s and 90s, a more narrow focus than the significant diversity we recognise today inside Takatāpui and Rainbow communities. And as importantly, I think, the fierce resistance, pride and celebration that has literally changed our world. So these are the contexts that we need to understand to allow all our Takatāpui and Rainbow Elder stars to shine and to help us prevent elder abuse, neglect and exploitation for our elders. I'm going to hand over in a moment to a fabulous panel of experts who've been sitting here very patiently while I go blah, blah, blah. Elders, Takatāpui and Rainbow community members and allies working inside social services support agencies. And they're going to reflect on what mana enhancing support for our elders mean.
When we think of our ancestors or our elders and invisibilization, and there are so many words I'm sitting here, and like there's so many words spoken, shared, said, or breaths taken in and let out, and like trying to resonate and that. I'm also here as the so that is the connection that of my lens is also the lens that I would like to bring to this space is also influenced by the continuous search for I'm living from this land and the people of this land, and how do I make sense of my experience here and what's happening with me, and like what how I make sense of living and like what I hate on this land and the people I need for and what I give back. And that giving back is what I think one of the reasons why I yes to be in this when Sandra and Beck reached out to me, and super thrilled. I was here organizing Kai, I believe. They are in a different role at the front desk with another volunteer, Mikey. And so it was part of our US and then part of the ecosystem, whatever small way that I could. And I'm super pleased and thrilled to be part of sharing this space with all these beautiful people with powerful stories and experiences to share, and also sharing with you. And just one more thing, pass it on. So in terms of the question that was asked, and I just realized when you said, like, you just ignore the question, but I have been organized for so many years. I can't relate. That's happened. Yeah, beautiful. We have different perspectives. That's really good, right? So, one of the ways of making mana is that I closely relate to is energy or light source. And in this movie, when we think of uplifting the lives of Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders in a mana enhancing way, would be for me to, as someone who's yet, I'm not there yet, facilitate or support them to be able to live their lives with respect, integrity, equity, and a deep, deep, deep sense of connection and community. And where it starts for me is to build relationships, listen and really need to listen to all this Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders. And not just listen, also like internalize it and try to do something with it. The report, and thank you, Member, for saying sorry, for saying that you're going to take care of it and like, as well. So we need actions as well. And always give back to our community, like, we need to move to, like, kind of pay the conflict back to them and ensure that we have been heard. We are still using, or whatever you are on that of taking actions and just ensuring that. So all this makes sense to me in the way of enhancing and giving back to enhancing and to giving back to our communities. Kia
Kia ora tātou, whanakam, namaskaram, asalamu hola. So my name is Vani. I'm a heterosexual, ethnic woman, mother, counselor, director for one of the organization providing counseling and psychotherapy for ethnic people. And I don't know whether I'm a human being. Thank you. So, why am I here today? When Santa asked me, am I able to speak, I saw that question, I felt a bit guilty and sense of sadness. The reason we provide service for ethnic communities, nationwide, for all ethnic communities, gender, all ages. But for last 10 years, one person come to our service and identified as a rainbow elder. So I'm thinking, why they didn't come? I changed the question. What do we offer? What do we tend to come? Although they might, because several thousands of people over the years, there must be some people there, but as you your research finds, people not able to disclose to others when they don't say So as a service provider, we can do for people, elders in our communities, we really highly regard our elders, really high level, maybe they are untouchable, as a Tonga knowledge, what we do for them, like they never able to express them who they are gender, sexual orientation, difference. And I was reading one of the palliative nurse. She wrote a book about dying, five top guilt, a great uh, suffering, something. One is like they people never express their feelings. One of other regret was they never lived their life fully what they wanted to. They always lived other people's lives. So as a human being, as my friend, what is probably again what we could do to people really feel they are and think beautiful human. We have to see potential. They don't express themselves who they are. And if we have to create a safe place, tell who they are and how beautiful it could be. I think my grandma is the reason for me to be a counselor because always um, I've never been counseling. The reason my counselor didn't go to my grandma. So when I went to start counseling, I felt like how I want to become. I want to become like my grandma. She would never judge me by myself. Um, so she would embrace who I am and accept me who I am. So those kind of people, like maybe like some of them never show them. Like so I'm thinking how we can do a bit better from today. Small steps. We already started some maybe like recently we have two people joined practitioners. They are rainbow practitioners. So when the people come and they see like, oh yeah, there are some sense of connection there. And also some of the, we are working and competent the Aotearoa shouldn't changed before that because maybe we should have that when I say I she always like one person student Bex I was close to working and I'm really mindful always having to say die because it's not it's in English, it's challenging, but I respect how it's meant to for them. So that makes the difference. So having a relationship, collaboration, and that would be more helpful, I think, when we about our service. Yeah, so although we a bit guilt and sadness, but I just want to, so hopes there, be able to change, definitely as a human being, something we are good at, change. And so, thank you.
Atamari Kofo. I just want to thank you for spoken before really. Thank you so much. And thank you for making us space today with the beautiful safe he iri ahau no ngā roa wahia engari kei kirikiri roa me no he kaimahi o Aotearoa Kahukura me single parents ko ke roa tōku roa raira tēnā koutou. This was a big question, and really so far because it's helped me sort of think about what can I attach to that. And my part honestly is about this much. And so when I leave here, I actually it will be this much. I've taken some notes actually, I just don't want to miss some things. So I'm coming from the lens of somebody who is practicing in this space, and we want this space to be safe for our people and safe for our practitioners. So here is my file about core values that lead towards mana enhancing support for Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders. I think it's really been basics, be respectful, uphold dignity and safety of others, support and obey empowers individuals and or farmers to make choices and decisions about their lives. Be thoughtful and sensitive about cultural practice and values that might be different from mine. Embrace all facets of what influences might exist for people. For example, te tangata, tina, hinako, whenua, whenua. Intersectionality. Be mindful of intersectionality and the different aspects that connect to identity. Tailor an approach that supports and nurtures each. Be curious and be interested. Fortunately, I am. Ask questions about the things you might not understand. Be inclusive. Don't exclude. Just a little bit of my whakaro about mana. We all know that people are born with mana. That mana has connection to whakawhaka, atua, wairu, and tika. From one kai to it is integral to first and foremost know who you are, ko wairau. That by knowing yourself first can lead to a more authentic way of being. This in turn enables us to provide authentic and honest support to Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders. Nō reira, tēnā koutou.
Following up from what everybody has said on the panel and what Sandra has done, and thank you for what you shared. The simple question that was raised for us is for us all, I think, the very deep purpose of us all in terms of being human beings. And when we talk about wanting to encourage change, then our first post is to acknowledge one another as human beings. In the elder abuse space that I come from, that at least 10 years ago we had a slogan that was called Dignity and Respect, and I know we talked about that. And it seems so simple, it just rolls off the tongue. And I think over recent years, enhancing also has become one of those words, one of those phrases that rolls off the tongue. So today, I think going back to the basics is really important, because that's exactly what we're doing. At a second level, I need to say that I am so thrilled that we are here today. Celebrating the launch on this. Because what we've got now is we've got the voices of more than 400 people throughout this country. We're not relying on research from overseas. People coming from overseas telling us. We can rely now on what's happening here, on hearing people's own experience. And that's the thrill of me today. And thank you so much for bringing it out. What this leads us to as being part of Age Concern New Zealand, and we're an umbrella organisation, as you know, that advocates for the rights of older people, but also serves the needs of older people who have been disempowered, who have been discriminated. That we've got from what has come today, what we can read, but also what we can listen to. And I implore you all to go from today and listen to those voices as well as read it. Is that we need to, certainly in the older person space, we need to act. We've got very clear messages about what we need to do, what we need to do differently, what we need to hear, listen, offer, and show ways of being more inclusive. Some of the things that are in this report are really disconcerting for us around inclusion, around speaking out. On the other side, what I also is that from an elder abuse space, people of any description don't speak up about elder abuse. So we need to say that most of the referrals that we get around elder abuse are not from an older person's themselves. So people are not speaking up about what's happening to them, which brings me to the other point is that just as elder abuse is initially minor enhancing of who are Takatāpui or who are Rainbow or who see themselves in any way in time as different from the mainstream. It's that that's a generation. We are dealing with abuse as mainly from people who are not in the older person's space. So this is a much more general call than saying elder voices. I need to admire the encouragement from you to say last Saturday night that you feel encouraged to be out there doing more. What we hear often is that people who have been fighting in the rainbow space for a long, long time are tired of it and they're really, oh no, do I have to do this again coming into the older person's space? So thank you for your energy, but I also need to say as people who are part of offering services, not everybody feels when they get to an older age with disabilities, with illnesses, feels that they can fight. And all of us across the generations need to be keeping on doing that. Thank you.
E aku nui, aku rahi, e ngā tohunga o tēnā. No tēni whenua, e rere ngā ihi ki a koutou. E uia hau no hamoa, e ngāri ke oto rahi, e noho ana, no renga tēnā koutou katoa. Toku isuri te taupe, toku ingoa. They come from the main institute really to say crusaders. Pronouns we have said here is a nurse by profession, but also is the chair and founder of members of Pacific Pride in Aotearoa. Can we just one more time, big Pasifika for Aotearoa Kahukura, Waikato, it was amazing camp. And I am so excited for the data. This is the scholarship, this is a time. And I hope that Christchurch City Council, please Hamilton City Council, talk to your fellow councils to ensure that we utilise this data. everyone in the room, data is knowledge. Knowledge is power. We use these narratives and use these data to showcase the realities of our elders, of our Rainbow and Takatāpui elders. And I come from a space where, for us, is specific navigating in this space. Some of the, I guess, values that we uphold is about service, about alofa. We love to celebrate one another. We come together as a collective, as a village, but we ensure that everyone is respected as family. And I think it's so important that we continue to journey together as a family. And I wanted to share a couple of amazing individuals in our collective. One particular Papahini by the name of Dr. Kahukura, the creator from the health model, created in the 80s, and it's so good today. But he is our patron of our collective. And the knowledge that he brings to our young ones in the collective is just out of this world. Because of the stories that he's brought of specific gender realities and sexualities, it's given hope in the young ones, and it's given them a sense of pride in our elders. And I think it's very important, coming from a community organisation space, is to ensure that everyone is in it together. Because there is the reality too that our young ones perhaps do not want to connect. We mentioned this in the case today. There is, but it's a how to connect. It's finding that how and that why. The second individual, and they've all got a recognition, this is the lovely Howard, Fijian, Māori Fijian, identifies as gay. He is actually working with Age Concern. I think he is a part of the Rainbow Elders collective. But he, apart from working in Yemen for a few decades, always wanted to pursue a passion in teaching people to sew. And so we're now on our fourth intake. Some beautiful rainbow flavoured garments that come out. And if you're around in the 6 weeks summer, we've got the big showcase down in Aotearoa. And so it's utilising the skill sets, utilising the expertise, but most importantly, the wisdom and the pearls, but also ensuring that they are keeping safe. So let's continue to keep a safe space, continue to advocate and using this data in a manner enhancing way. I just wanted to finish up by saying, my strength does not come from me alone, but from me. This proverb signifies our collective and the intertwined nature of our worldviews. Nōrena, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Tēnā koutou e te whānau, e te sōtahi kia ko ia tōku kaiarahi I roto o tēnā. Ki te kingi Māori, tūheitia, amahoa wāwāhi lawa tamariki, te kāhuiāriki, ki ngā hitu kua pāruri a tātou tupuna, koutou kia koutou, kia tātou, kia tātou. Ki te kai kōrakia, tēnā kia ora, tēnā kia pui, tēnā whenua, te wairere, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou. Kia koutou katoa, ai mai a tēnei rā, he rā whakahira o katoa, a tēnā koutou katoa. A he uri tēnei no kauri, no Ngāti Mare, a he kaha tōku mama, no Aotearoa ko tēnā aha. Nō reira, ko hei mama tōku, he tā koutou katoa. In short, e te whānau, it's like that. Just acknowledging the ending of war of the world. My lead in the world is you. Acknowledge our Pēni Māori, Aotearoa, his whānau, and Ria Ariki. Acknowledgements to them. To those that have passed on, our tūpuna. To me, elders means I use the kupu tūpuna to express what elder mean to me. Those that have gone, the ones that have paved the way, the ones that lead us, these generations now, to be where we are today, to be alive today, to be smart today. I want to acknowledge them, those here today, and those new coming through the and acknowledge you all for doing today to support this kaupapa, which is important to all our whakapapa. Doesn't matter where we're from, whether we're Māori, we're Indigenous, whenua, tangata. It is, to me, one of the strongest whakapapa. And yes, I come from Ngāti Mare, which is the coast, far north, around 45 kilometres from the beach, and Scotland, Ireland, on the side. Reira, wātukuna koe tūtu, tēnā koutou. I mulled this over for quite a while. Te tuakana, whenua api, tēnei. It's a huge question. I want to unpack in however many hours. First thought that came to me was the kupu. What does mana enhancing mean to me? Mana is enhancing. Mana te kupu, and the English translation is enhancing. Not direct translation, mind you, but it is enhancing. And for me, I had a reconnection to my of my Ngāti Mare whānau. And it was through my grandmother that this connection was even made. She's gone. Yeah? And the kupu tapu came through. He tapu tō te whakapapa. There is a sacredness that is within our whakapapa lives. And for us as Māori, we connect all the way back to you. And he tapu tēnā, all the way through to the deities and Māori, down to ira tangata, tēnei akone, taionga kia whakakatoa. And he tāma te kuiru that came to me, or kupu, that came to me, which is that which is given down to us. Our tūpuna were the ones that get it down, given to us. And I get to be here today because of their leadership, because of their mana. Te mana, te tūpuna, te tapu, te mana. For me, in short, mana o haki, koina. And what the kupu research. And my definition is about the empowerment. It is about the autonomy, the indigeneity, and the integrity of the tapu, of the whakapapa, of hitori that is passed through our tōtō, through our minds, and our whenua when we look across our hands and stand in our awa. That is all connected. That to me is mana. When I stand on my feet, that is mana. That empowers me and my mind to continue. He tika te tuakana, where you're from, to tika koe ka tika koe I roto I tō mana. You know where you're from, everything doesn't matter or not. You know where you're from, you stand firm, strong, and solid in who you are, where you're going, what you know. Koe nā tō mana, titihi, one side of that. So much more. He nui ake te kuku mana, nā te mā, inside is the clearing and knowing. We could wānanga all day about this, I'm telling you. And I just want to total that has been shared to me is also about that diversity. So ahakoa ngā tauiwi, differently able, that's what I like to use. Ethnic, wāhine, tāne, whakawahine, kei a koutou. Whenua te rere kia, the difference is a mana as well. Contrary to popular belief. People don't get it. And we can just remind them. Whether it be a person on the street, sharing an educational corridor, actually like this. Have you noticed what happened to that? And we'll go, ping. Oh. Then there's those that are the actors that can rally up to the front lines. I've got too much book of mine. I've got too much work to do where I am. But to me, that's also one another. Whether you be with a person on the street on the bus, or whether you're at the front lines, you can make a difference in a way that impacts the continuation of the life. And I'll leave it there. He mihi tēnei, he tēnei ki ngā kaimai o te kaupapa nei. He nui ake te kaupapa mātāta kei te haere. Hei tūwhira ngā nō mō ngā hua kei tā mai. So I was joking. Want to acknowledge that this mahi is open for the doorway and for a pathway to continue on around whānau, to continue to whakamana tūpuna. Nō reira tēnā kau. Tēnā tātou katoa.
Amazing. Can we give the panel collectively a round of applause? Okay, folks, so those of you who were here a year ago may remember that we dedicated this project with love and respect to all our Takatāpui and Rainbow Elders. Today, I hope that people can feel that our research village is trying our very best to honor those voices and is continuing to try our very best to make sure that that money creates change. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.
All right, it's that time again. Show me your shoulders. Show me your shoulders. It's a lot of koha that you just heard. Okay, so keep on showing your shoulders. I want you to turn to someone new and say, whakamana. Okay, turn to someone else. Whakamana. Kia ora. All of those stories and mental weaving look, and I just heard it out loud, and I thank you so much for coming for saying it. I was like, oh, believe. I already know that these people are talking to the converted here, so this is your moment to be like, you know what? I do have a little bit more extra energy to just be like, auntie, don't talk like that no more. Bro, we don't talk like that to our peeps. Uncle, we don't talk like that to our nieces no more. Auntie, that was a bit mean. Come on, we know we love our aunties. Sometimes the tone is like, So I just want to do a massive thank you to all our aunties out there, our uncles, and just all our family. And we've got one more speaker before we jump into I'll share lunch, but also we have again, like Sandra's who are listening out here. There's 3 here, but also it's live on our website. Just going to introduce our last speaker for the day. So this beautiful one is Director of the Takatāpui Office of Seniors. Has been a role here for 7 years and has a small team in the Ministry of Seniors to advocate for the interests and issues of older people. Please give a round of applause for Diane Turner.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa, ko Tātari, taku maunga, ko Waikato, taku awa, no Putururu, apo, and I'm Diane Turner. And I kind of feel like I'm actually in home territory, because my very first job post-university was here at Hamilton City Council, so it's just a couple of years ago. I'd like to start by acknowledging those who've contributed to all this work, and Sandra for the invitation, and those who brought the event together today. And I'd particularly like to acknowledge those from the City Council, the panellists and their beautiful, beautiful stories. You've certainly given me a lot to think about. Hohou, Rongo, Kahukura, Rainbow Waikato, the research team, Age Concern New Zealand, Karen, my colleague, and Honey here, and the Waikato Wellbeing Project. It's really lovely to be here in Aotearoa, who is actually one of the first communities in Aotearoa who are working towards becoming age-friendly, which is the World Health Organisation's project, and one that we strongly support in the Office for Seniors. We've heard throughout the morning the Older Voices Project is a comprehensive and foundational report on the experiences of older Takatāpui and Rainbow people in Aotearoa. It's evident to me the care that has been put into this work, including prioritising the stories of older people and ensuring that these stories represent the diversity of the Rainbow community. I want to thank those who advised on the project and those who shared their voices as part of it. It's not easy and showed a lot of bravery, and I can assure you you'll appreciate this report as a toa. This report is an important contribution for our Takatāpui and Rainbow communities. We heard about the many strengths of the community, including social connection through Rotary, Kahukura, and working groups. There were descriptions of positive experiences in the community organisations and people who have loving and supportive families. However, there are also stories of loneliness, discrimination, and people who are not able to live their lives as their authentic selves. It's clear that we need to do a lot better to create safer communities where older people, all older people, can thrive. This report provides a strong evidence base for what needs to change. It is also clear from the report findings and recommendations that we all have a role to play in creating that change, but particularly government service providers in Takatāpui and Rainbow community organisations. This project was funded through the Elder Abuse Prevention Fund, a one-off grants round from the Office for Seniors, and we were able to distribute $150,000 between 11 organisations. I want to thank Tapuna Aonui, who actually enabled us to run this funding round. The grants were for innovative abuse prevention initiatives that targeted Māori, Pasifika, ethnic, Rainbow and disabled older people. This fund has been an important investment in our communities and an opportunity to improve our understanding of works to prevent elder abuse of older people. And it's a very small part of the wider work going on at the moment. Several prevention strategies emerged from the projects funded, including increasing social connection, ensuring older people have a voice, creating peer support initiatives, and supporting the older person's wider family through peer support groups and connections with support services. The Office for Seniors is working alongside the Ministry of Social Development and Tapuna Aonui to further develop the abuse prevention system for Aotearoa. This involves investing in community-led initiatives, increasing our understanding of the views of older people, and ensuring it is through Aotearoa, the national strategy to eliminate family violence and sexual violence. And I've got to say, we had to fight for every elder abuse word that appeared in that strategy. And so while you have your own battles, I can assure you, we have some battles across government getting elder abuse recognised. I'd like to take this opportunity to speak briefly about the work that we do in the Office for Seniors. We're the primary advisors to government on the issues impacting older people and support the Minister for Seniors to do this work. We work to improve the lives of older people by providing information, promoting the wellbeing of older people, and increasing awareness of the issues and opportunities that come with an ageing population. We want everyone to lead value, connected and fulfilling lives. We use our communications channels to challenge the assumptions that others make about older people and to address ageist narratives. And I look forward to sharing this research through our channels as well. We also support research that demonstrates the contributions that older people make and that surface attitudes towards older people and ageing. Our work is guided by the strategy called Better Later Life, the Rongo Kahukura. And this is something that we led the development of starting in, I think it was 2018. Over the past few years, we've achieved a lot, but it seems that at times it seems like a little. Some of the things that we have been doing has been including expanding digital literacy training programs for older people, trialling a new housing called shared home share, working in partnership with Agents in Auckland, and developing senior entrepreneur enterprise pilots to support older people wanting to start up their own businesses. We also now have 31 councils in our age-friendly neighbourhood, which was started in 2017. So that's just about half the councils across the country. But we've all got a lot of work to do before we can really say that Aotearoa New Zealand is age-friendly. The Office for Seniors has an important sorry, that's a little repeat sentence, so I'll cut that one. I know that we'll be sharing this Older Voices report far and wide and using its findings in our advocacy role to create more visibility for Takatāpui and Rainbow older people. And all going well, we hope to be starting on the development of a new action plan next year, and hopefully some of this valuable research can be reflected in that. The work that we do for older people and preventive use is particularly important in the context of an ageing population. Recent research coming out of the Ministry of Social Development shows that most older people are doing well. However, 13% are experiencing multiple disadvantage. This means that they're experiencing vulnerability in two of the following areas: housing, health, finance, social protection, and access. Vulnerability is not experienced evenly, and this is consistent with the equal experience of Māori across the life course. I want to highlight this research because it demonstrates how issues can compound for people, and I think we've heard some of that today. For example, connection between housing and financial vulnerability and mental health conditions. The Elder Voices report also tells the story of compounding issues, particularly for those who experience discrimination for intersected parts of their identity. It's critical for government, NGOs and service providers to have findings and recommendations from the Elder Voices report because good information can inform better decision making. In this context, it's clear that preventing the use of older people is not only about strength and protective factors, it's also about addressing those areas of vulnerability. Our work in this space ensures that more older people are able to live valued, connected and fulfilling lives. So just to finally, to address what does this mean for government. This challenges us to include your voices in our government strategies, ensuring services and safe spaces involving Takatāpui and Rainbow Older People in service design and funding intergenerational spaces within your community. The Office for Seniors has an important advocacy role across government. We'll be using the findings and recommendations of this report to undertake their advocacy role by challenging our colleagues at other government agencies to use their roles as funders and service providers to ensure spaces are safe and responsive for Takatāpui and Rainbow Older People. We're also pleased to be funding the next stage of this project with the support this time of the Ministry of Social Development. I've become quite addicted to snuff out little pockets of money around the place. This involves developing a guide for mainstream older persons organisations to become Takatāpui and Rainbow Safe by developing policies, models for service and training. It's an honour to have a relationship with Te Hohou, Te Rongo, Kahukura, and to support them in this work. Our hope is that we can all learn from this model and that it will be expanded on in the future. It will take us all to create a safer space for a more inclusive country, and I look forward to continuing to work with you, many of you here today, to make it happen. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
All right, it's actually that time when we actually just get to celebrate in community. But I just want to make sure that we're giving just a notice again. Can we just do one clap for our panel, please? See, this is why I know that we are just like, we're in the right room, because I see one clap, everyone like now 5. 20 claps. Can we please give a round of applause to our Hohou team, Kahukura team? Also, keep clapping for everything that keep clapping. All the people that are behind the scenes, all the people that are happy here, keep going, thank you. Yes, so we started with brief work, we're just going to end with brief work. I'm going to do a karate for the kai, and then we're able to mingle. Please know that the stations are here if you want to just listen to some of our elders' conversation. And also, I just wanted to make a